So I was writing on my diaries because whenever I complete a diary, I then go over it and I see through to see what I missed, what I've forgotten, what I need to consolidate, what I need to integrate. And I make notes, and from the notes, I create my articles. That's why my articles always seem relevant to everybody. Oh, I was just going through that. They seem relevant because I'm picking up all the information from the times and looking at what's happening around me and making real examples from the energies, and I decoding the energies, translating them into real life situations or examples. And when I put it together into a story or a flow, then people can relate to it. So I basically pick up very high energies, step them down, step them down, step them down in my diaries, and I get quotes from people, anything relevant, total messages, dreams, drawings, anything and everything. Did you listen to the time notes and this and that and converging lives and bleeding times from one life to another, energies? What did you think?
I think that a lot actually happened during that time. I went and I don't know if there was a lot that I wanted to do, a lot of opportunities that I always wanted to grab onto, but I felt like I had a bigger goal and I had to just keep myself from reacting like I usually do.
That's good.
So I wasn't able to achieve everything, but I did achieve my main goal.
That's good, very good. So you are focused. So there was a couple of things here from Tom Kenyon, who does the Hathors. He channels the Hathors. He's been doing it for a long time. And it's funny that as I came through it, I was reading about the time nodes. And he says, where two or more timelines converge, realities bleed through because of their proximity. And if there is an oscillation, opportunities for accelerated growth and evolution exist. Whenever there is an increase of chaotic events, there is a convergence of multiple timelines. Now, what's happening in the world at this moment? It cannot be more chaotic. Strong timelines are also literally affect the possibilities and probabilities of other timelines within a time node. And novel effects often occur, which is what's happening now. Crazy timelines coming together, converging time node, push, something happens. Look at the explosion yesterday. Wasn't that massive? These are evolutionary jump starts. So basically we are at an evolutionary jump start. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Anna.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm just reading a couple of quotes about timelines because I just found them by chance as I was doing my diary to complete the articles I'm writing at the moment. It says, as a result of the volatile nature of events on your planet, there are multiple time nodes emerging, which has to be the only reason why we had huge things happening at the same time. Your planet is poised on the brink of utter transformation, which has multiple expressions. And it is you, the collective, that will affect these outcomes to a greater or lesser degree. This is an evolutionary potential. So basically, this is what we were talking about. And then, so you think, okay, that is planetary growth. How does it affect me individually? What can I do? How should I manifest my own dreams, my own personal ambitions? For this, level 1, you must transcend fear. Consciousness locked onto fear becomes imprisoned by the lower centers of chakras within the impulses of survival and power, which is why we are watching all these struggles about people trying to take power away from people who've been gathering power unfairly for centuries, so that every individual has their own power, because people feel, I don't even have sufficient and you have more than enough. This is not fair. So people are starting to speak out for fairness. Number two, then you move to a state of feeling of loving and kindness, which is why everybody's trying to open the heart chakra. We're trying to feel for each other. We're trying to walk on each other's shoes. We're understanding we are all equal, that it doesn't matter, woman, man, black, white, yellow, red. The soul is the same. The outside is a packaging. It's a different races, but there's different expressions of the same seed. Number three, finally, you don't waver. Celeste, you just said, I've been focusing on not reacting as I always do, and I achieved my main goal. That is this. You don't waver, you are consolidating, anchoring a frequency, this new frequency, where we've been releasing the lower chakras, the denser energies, the fear for survival. I know I have enough. I know the universe looks after me. I know I am protected. I don't have to take from another. I don't need to fight with another to prove my worth. I am worthy anyway. We're coming to these basic understandings of personal rights. When this vibrational state acquires a life of its own, when you take every opportunity that comes to your life to anchor this energy, to open your heart and to feel for another, and to look at the global village to others as or brothers and sisters, then something happens of its own. It takes, your life starts taking a life of its own. You get on board of that surfing wave. You start surfing the wave and your life starts gathering a momentum, gathering a focus, a purpose, and you start being guided to it. You no longer have to sacrifice, fight to be recognized every single step of your path. And now everything becomes easier. A coherent emotional state of appreciation will hasten the birth of this new vibrational reality. It will catalyze its reality in ways that boggle the mind, which means we are tapping into our own potentials. We are now accessing our potentials. You will be facing reality as it presents itself, while simultaneously holding a higher consciousness. So all this is Tom Kenyon with the Hathors. There is some more, but I think this is enough. Okay, so we were talking about this last week, and now we are consolidating this into our personal vibrational stabilization, which means I was having a few dreams this week and memories that came to me empowered. Memories that I used to look at as painful, like the boys when I was 5, that we were like the leaders in the class and we were playing games, and then the boys had to go because there was not enough space in the nuns school and it was all girls, and from them I felt that I was like in a shell. I felt bullied, I felt misunderstood, there was power struggle, and that sent me into a different timeline. I eventually left the country, I came to England, then South Africa, and now I feel empowered. I had to do the big loop. You, Celeste, you went to Israel, but you were born in South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny, she met me here in South Africa, and then she went to London, and now she's in Hong Kong. So we are using the world for us to achieve our karma. We're no longer limiting our possibilities. We are doing what we need to do where we are called to do it, where the land, the earth can talk to us, or can we resonate with situations that are painful but are where we need to be to transduce, translate, transform, transcend the shadow, the karma. The limitations are just an illusion for us to break through into the light. Like you said, Celeste, I can see the value of that dream or that memory that I had, that before I didn't like it, now I can see the value of it. So can we see the value of a present time even though it's not nice?
Yeah, I went to Israel mostly to escape something, and a lot happened before I went to Israel that it's very difficult, hard for me to deal with, and for like many years I just avoided it and was just going with whatever. At some point, all the undealt issues sort of came, issues that I've been running from, and they were very difficult to overcome.
And you didn't have the tools to negotiate. How did you achieve the tools and how did you overcome, just as an example, one of your challenges?
I think I was a coward for running away, and I met some very brave people who inspired me to face my problems, and I did.
Okay, so like, to say that you were a coward is a bit of a harsh statement. Because the only reason why we're cowards is because we're scared. Because when you have the tools and you feel strong enough, you're no longer a coward. So if you dealt with it, means that you are not really a coward. But you did not have the tools to deal with that at the time, which means that we are so hard on ourselves. And that's why we get locked and stuck sometimes, because we have such negative self-talk when sometimes all it takes, someone comes and you get inspired and you think they are very brave, but maybe they had more time or they had other ways to deal with stuff, and you get inspired by them and you learn from them. So isn't that like a big family, brother who are older, sisters that are older, and younger ones, and we all learn from each other and we keep walking. Sometimes our paths link together for a lifetime. Sometimes they link together temporarily. Sometimes it's a brief moment and then we go into separate paths. But do you have that negative self-talk now?
Not really.
Exactly.
I try. I try.
Okay, so you're in a better place. You feel you're in a better place? So what comes next?
A job, looking for work.
So what do you have now to offer that you didn't have before?
Well,
Step up.
I have more emotional awareness.
So would you say you are more consolidated? Your psyche is more consolidated. You're stronger, more mature, more emotional intelligence is grown. Do you have a dream that you used to have that you didn't think you could handle, and now you feel you could handle it because you are stronger?
My dream to be independent and get away and, be independent. I think I can do that. It'll take time.
But you are ready to tackle it.
Yes, I'm ready to take on that responsibility.
And that's excitement. It's not just the responsibility, because it comes with its benefits of freedom, self-direction, self-discipline.
Yeah.
What about Jenny? Is there a dream you had you didn't feel you could tackle, and now you feel you've achieved something or learned something that will allow you, when you are ready to take it or to go for it, will allow you to take you there? Is there a shift?
I think it's a little bit more subtle than that, because I've been working with you for a while, and the dream that I have, and I believe you have the same thing going as well. It's not that I have a thing that I need to achieve, but it's a state of being that I want to achieve.
That's
right. And the real thing, the thing itself, it loses its flavor. It's not so enticing anymore. It's good to have it, but it's the feeling that we are focusing. I think what you are just describing, the jumping of the timelines, consolidating, gaining of personal power, they are exactly the themes that we are dealing with at a collective level and a personal level, because completely separate from you. So I did like a little energy reading this morning by myself. it's so interesting. So I want to test myself. So I was trying to figure out what the energy is at the moment because there, like you said, like at this time, there are a lot of opportunities for us to jump the timeline. There are multiple knots that exist that we can use to our own advantage. So I'm trying to figure out the essence of what we are doing, like what we are shifting exactly. And exactly like you said, the theme that I found was the sense of powerlessness in seemingly bad situations. For me, the key lesson of this time is to transform our sense of powerlessness to one of to find the gift at the moment and use them and exploit them so we can be we can be strong as an individual, and that will lead to freedom, and freedom will lead to creativity and innovation. And at a personal level, that would work out because that is what everyone wants:
Yeah.
individuality and creative self-expression. And I think one of the biggest challenge at this time is that because we are releasing the sense of powerlessness as a collective. So in order to make the jump from powerlessness to empowerment, you need to really, really ignore the reaction of people around the bigger environment. And I suppose that is one of the
Yeah.
toughest challenge for people like us who are interested in a better well-being to just become happier. So
So
yeah, I think you are spot on with, like, I really resonate with what you just explained, what's happening.
the majority of people have a goal. From here to the goal, there is a gap. In Spanish, we have a saying, to start the house from the roof. What we are talking about is creating those foundations, not rushing the foundations, so that they are solid and strong. Wherever the house later comes with 2 stores, 3 stores, a bigger garden, a smaller garden, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, that's not totally relevant unless you have a very clear goal from the beginning, or you have a goal that keeps changing and it keeps molding. But what we are saying here is that while most people focus on the finalized goal and they try to see how to get there, they don't see how you can get there from where they are at. And we are like building that gap by keeping adding frequencies that take us to a point of more empowered, more aware, stronger.
I think you pointed out really well. And what comes to my mind as you speak is that having that solid goal, having that picture that you want to achieve, that itself can be very disempowering, because when you look at that and you look at where you are and you are like, what the hell? Like, why is it not happening? Why is it so far? How am I going to get it? So focusing on that might actually be, like you said, shooting yourself on the foot.
Destructive. Yeah. And I originally have a goal, and when I saw it wasn't happening, what I did is, rather than me getting frustrated at not getting there, I took lots of steps to get there. So now the goal is kind of still there, but I'm not worried how long it will take to close that gap. But I am much, much closer. But even if I don't get there, it's no longer important because I feel so much more ahead from where I was. So basically, sometimes the goal helps you to evolve faster, because I think my goal itself is now changing. Is going into a different direction and is having things added to it. So now that original goal is not exactly as what I have in mind, but I have achieved much more than I would have if I had never had a goal in the first place. But what I did is stop taking the goal as the goal itself. I'll make each little step toward the goal as multiple goals that are more doable, more achievable, and that made me feel more empowered. And it's not just the way I feel, it's the way I am, because I actually achieved diplomas and studies and things that were getting me there. So they are on my wall. They are physical things I've achieved. I would have never maybe gone for it because they were very demanding. Like for instance, distinguished Toastmaster, 4 years of intense work, or the PhD, another 3 years. So it's things that maybe I wouldn't have done. So thank you for the goal, but then thank you to me for releasing the goal and unhooking myself from the goal and allowing my life to be happy and successful every day. So now I always say, give each day what each day asks of you. Whatever things appear today, I always leave everything else and I focus on that only, because that's what they wanted from me today. I have to admit, or I have to agree, or I have to accept that my life and my destiny wants for me what I want for myself, and that my higher self is helping me achieve it. So rather than fighting against myself like I used to and getting angry about not being somewhere else where I thought I should be, very dangerous word, now I accept whatever each day brings and I deal with that. And until it's settled and done, I don't put it aside and I don't go to bed. And when that day is done, I feel complete, I feel satisfied, I feel fulfilled, I feel happy. Because if I don't wake up tomorrow, I've done everything up to today. My best every day. And if I do wake up tomorrow, I have another opportunity for another new beginning and another 24 hours of excitement, unexpected requirements. So I never really get angry anymore. I can go, oh, for goodness sake, but that's more like a part of the game than playing. I'm playing the game of how exciting is today? How exciting do I make it? How do I meet everything that I'm asked? Can I actually make it? And if I make it, I have the ability to go tomorrow, another day, and another day. And one day requires to check exams. Another day asking me to write an article. Another day is asking me to prepare some lessons or to talk to somebody or to do a polyglot exchange. I don't know, or to go out or to go downstairs to the garden and look at the clouds. Wherever it is, everything is as valuable as everything else. There is no activity more important, more special, or more whatever. Everything is got a quality and a frequency that needs to be included and integrated that day for my day to be successful, the week to be successful. And when you look back, like I do when I look at my diaries, then you can put all that picture in one smaller place. You can summarize and you see clearly what you have achieved during those months, during that year, during those weeks, whatever. And that is like a bird view of every little thing that happens in your life, which in the past I would be reactive, like Celeste said, and I would be too involved inside the hole, so I could not see above. Now I have that perspective, I can actually negotiate, and I don't feel sucked into it. I don't feel locked into it. I don't feel cornered into it. I feel I have the choice. I do it because I want to. But if I don't really want to, I won't do it. And I can actually be flexible. I can zigzag around this. I can do it later. So I've got choice. I've got empowerment. I've got perspective. And that makes me feel like I'm playing a game of life, which is exciting and is interesting. And I don't know what's happening every day, but that level of excitement is telling you you are going in the right direction. That's how I see it. That's how it's working for me. That's how I inspire in everybody else. How do you see this?
Along the same lines, I recently came to a realization that people, like 2 weeks ago, that they just live in the moment. And it's something I've heard a lot, but you don't really know until you experienced it. My mother puts a lot of pressure on me, and a lot of my family members do. And it's just too much, really. And I've just been telling them, listen, I need time. I can't do everything you're telling me to do, or any of it, or for many days.
It may not go along the destiny that you signed up for when you came to the earth, or against the destiny that you sense you need to move towards. And they are never going to know what your destiny is because only you can tap into it. So
Right, you're right.
boundaries. And their work is that they are maybe scared for you, that you won't reach your potential. So the pressure they put on you is the projection of their own fear. So at some point you have to calm them down and say, I am getting there, I promise you, but I may get there in a different way. Give me a chance and I will prove it, but back off. Because even if you wanted to sit down and do nothing with your life, that would be your right. You're an adult.
Maybe.
You know, you need to negotiate your reality in a way that you can integrate your lessons at your pace. You cannot see your life through other people's eyes. It is not a possibility. You are not them, they are not you. So at some point you have to agree to disagree. Put physical distance, like I did when I left. So now you need to put emotional distance and cut that umbilical cord, because they should not be pulling from you. And if you feel drained, they got power over you. So like we were saying about the house, your house will never show beautiful with a beautiful roof if you do not have the foundations. The fact that you say that your foundations are being implanted at this moment and you feel happy is that you are making progress. So you need to keep going in this direction because it's the right direction for you. You feel happier, you feel stronger. If it takes a lifetime, welcome to the world. That's how it works. Nobody makes it in 5 minutes. We don't know how long it will take. And the time it takes is actually not really relevant because you can't rush it. Or your house will fall. You will build a house and you will fall. It will fall. So when you're very clear about this, you'll find the compassionate words to say, I love you very much, but let me do it my way. And then you won't be reactive. And then we'll realize that they don't need to be scared for you because you are now a grown-up. You have a right to your choices. And that's your picture at this moment. And you, Jenny? So what I was saying about taking the moment, completing the days, gathering your energies, rather than going too far away in the future, you may never get there. You may not even want to get there.
Yes. Using the picture of timeline jumping, because now we are at a serious point where we can make the choices. Like Celeste, she can make a choice of growing up, owning her power, tell her family that thank you very much for your love, but I need you to trust me on this one. And I can really relate to that because I believe we all have experienced like such. We have to assert ourselves as individual, especially if our parents are very overbearing. That because now it's time for us to choose. I think it's very important. Like there are different paths. There is a path that if we do not own up to our power, it will lead to a lot of resentment, hatred, anger, frustration, and fear. But if we decided to own our power, we can lead to a radically different path that is a lot more happier, a lot more satisfied. So for me personally, the way I see it, it's all about making decisions. And the decisions are not necessary like life-changing decision, like this job or that job, this location to live in, that location to live in. It's more like daily decision or decision on your perspective. For example, for people who are not working at this moment, we can decide to see this as a very a bad situation. Like you got no income, you were stuck in a house, like nothing is happening. Where should I apply to? Oh, no one's gonna respond to my email, or how, like, I don't know what skills I can offer. You can go into that kind of thoughts, but you can also reframe you can also choose a different mentality, which is now the energy is so intense. So I am very, very blessed because I have the time and space to digest everything, integrate, make sure I know where I am before I go out into the world so I don't get swallowed up by dinosaurs or I don't know, just like not dangerous. So I can reclaim my power before I go out again. So I think it's making this type of mental shift, deciding
Yes.
what mentality you want to adopt. Seems to me that this is what we are doing. I
Yes.
believe I am doing it, and I can see that Anna is doing it, and Celeste also it's doing the same thing.
Very well put. I love how you summarized it and got the core meaning, you know? So yes, I think we're doing the right thing that is required at this moment. So thank you very much for being here. It's great.
Thank you, Anna, for having us.